Welcome, adventurers. Today on Rebel Then King, we are again talking about the Alchemist in Player Core 2. Now, I already did a pretty extensive video about this in which I talked about the new mechanics and how they are inarguably better than the old, but I also talked about how I pretty strongly disagree with the way they are organized. And in that video, I actually reorganized and rewrote some of the rules in a way that is mechanically identical to what we got in Player Core 2, but I think is much simpler to understand and much more clearly organized. What I didn't get into that video is what we're going to do now, and it's actually talk about some proposed changes to the mechanics themselves. And that's because I thought it might be a little bit too much to talk about the new mechanics in Player Core 2 and also my reorganization and rewording of them, but then also talk about changes to the mechanics that I would make. That's what we're going to do in this video. And it's something I was already thinking about, and I'm glad to see that based on comments in that last video, other people were thinking the exact same thing, so I know I am not the only one. On that note, if you agree or disagree with anything in this video, please leave something in the comments. It will go into making other videos. If you like my content, please subscribe, like the video. All right, let's dive in. Let's start by talking about the new mechanics as briefly as possible as they are presented in Player Core 2. Starting with Advanced Alchemy, you can make your intelligence modifier plus 4 items every morning, so presumably 8 items, and these last all day. That's very simple, and I still don't have any proposed changes to that. Then you have something called Versatile Vials. You have 2 plus your intelligence modifier, so presumably 6. And these can, 1, they can be thrown as bombs directly, dealing 1d6 plus 1 splash of acid damage. And then each research field, each subclass can do something specific and unique with a Versatile Vial. And then Versatile Vials can also be used as part of the Quick Alchemy create consumable action to create a consumable item like another bomb, like a bottled lightning, or a potion, or a mutagen, or an elixir, or something like that. And then the singular action called Quick Alchemy also has a second option in it called Quick Vial, in which you create an extra short-lived Versatile Vial, which can only be used as a bomb or as that item from your research field. And sort of the question here is why that second ability within Quick Alchemy? Now, if you remember, as I've said many times, my probably single biggest complaint about playing as an alchemist is that you would run out of inventory under the old infused reagent system. And to be clear, I don't think it's necessarily a problem if you run the risk of running out of inventory in an encounter. It's really only if you run out of inventory in the day, as I would do. And I don't think that is a problem, even if we get rid of that Quick Vial option as it is now. For example, let's say you advanced alchemy 8 items in the morning. Maybe you make 4 utility items and then 4 bombs, presuming you're playing as a bomber, which is what I did, and that's kind of my go-to. So you have 4 bombs, and then you also have 6 reagents, which I forgot to mention earlier, do replenish in your downtime. And I said reagents, and I shouldn't have said reagents. You have 6 Versatile Vials. Every 10 minutes in downtime, you get to kind of just scrounge together 2 more. So you can use all 6 of your Versatile Vials, go down to 0, and then 30 minutes of downtime, you have 6 again. And these can be used with Quick Alchemy. So back to the numbers here. You make 4 bombs in the morning, you get an encounter, let's say you use 1 bomb. Well, you can then make 4 more bombs if you would like with your Versatile Vials, and then you need only a 20-minute rest, which is probably going to happen. I mean, that's 2 treat wounds checks, and you can certainly replenish your Versatile Vials while someone else is treating wounds, and you're back to full. And then you can kind of repeat that all encounter long. You can even get into a pretty big encounter, maybe at the end of the day, and you don't have any of your advanced alchemy left, and you still would be able to use 6 bombs through your Versatile Vial Quick Alchemy option. And I think that's probably enough as is. And the question kind of is, why would I Quick Alchemy, Quick Vial, a specialty Versatile Vial that's not the same as the other Versatile Vial to make a lesser bomb when I could just Quick Alchemy a better bomb 6 times, which is probably going to be enough for every encounter. And that is why I, when reading, kind of didn't understand. I didn't understand the mechanics and had to cross-reference that, go watch the other video. And I also didn't really understand the purpose of Quick Alchemy, Quick Vial, though I do have a suggestion that I think would be pretty cool that would make it actually be impactful and meaningful and tie into the subclasses even a little bit better than it does. So my suggestion would be, again, Advanced Alchemy, leave it. It's good. Quick Alchemy, create consumable. Like I suggested in the last video, get rid of the term Quick Alchemy. It's a blanket term that is applying to multiple different things, and that is confusing. Just have an action called create consumable, exactly as it is. You use one of your versatile vials, which replenish, to create a consumable item, and then you use that item. I would then suggest having another action not called Quick Vial, but something like Craft Specialty or Specialty Vial. One action, you make and get to use all of the specialty versatile vial options that there are now. So as a bomber, one action, you would be able to craft and use a 1d6 bomb plus 1 splash damage that is either acid, cold, fire, or electricity, as is the versatile vial research field option for the bomber now. As a chirurgeon, well, you would make and use a 1d6 healing bomb, like they do now, but it's just a specialty action for it. And then as the mutagenist, you would make one vial and drink that vial as one action that would suppress the negative effects of a mutagen. And then finally, as the toxicologist, you would make a 1d6 and apply a 1d6 poison, single action, that doesn't have a saving throw, but also doesn't stack with others and doesn't have any other effects. And that way, you still technically get the won't run out ever ability, but you start to distinguish your versatile vials and their creation of consumables from this other idea, which Paizo still calls versatile vials, even though they kind of also call them short-lived versatile vials, and that is so confusing to me. You would just have versatile vials that can be used to create consumables, and then you would have each subclass a single action to create and use a specialty item unique to them. And it's because of, I think, relatively simple and mechanically better changes like these that I'm suggesting now that I'm pretty disappointed with the way the Alchemist turned out in Player Core 2. One tiny mechanical thing I kind of forgot to mention is that I would make the specialty vial limited to once per round, so you can't just keep doing it over and over, for somewhat obvious reasons, but also because due to somewhat of an action tax on, I think, everybody but the bomber with the quick vials as written, they would be limited to once a round anyway, so I'm just going to codify once per round and then actually alleviate 3 of the subclasses from an action tax, making it mechanically better and a better piece of writing and rulebook entry. And the fact that we didn't get that after all this time is why my heart sank a little bit while reading The Alchemist, why I reread it dozens of times, and why it's better. It's gotten a lot better, and it's going to move up in my rankings, but it is not the complete game changer that I was hoping for. One other note from the editing room. Under my proposed changes, versatile vials would no longer be able to be used as a bomb. You could still make them into a bomb using create consumable, which would still allow subclasses other than the bomber to use bombs pretty much at will, but I would make this one change, making it even simpler and mechanically clear. And I think that's about all I have to say on this. I will say, though, that I have started reading through some of the other classes. Oracle got simpler, got better, exactly what I was hoping for that we didn't really get with the Alchemist. It is why I'm just kind of disappointed with the way it turned out. It's certainly better, but it's still not what it could have been. Let me know what you think. Is what I explained mechanically better? Does it make more sense? Is it what you would rather see? Is there any chance any of this might be clarified and errated by the time it officially comes out? I mean, probably not, but one can hope.